Hello, sports fans, and welcome to a very special Browns preseason pregame show. As this is preseason game 3 on pregame show on Scott Sports 101, and the Browns are getting ready to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in preseason game number 3 tonight at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida, and we'll break it all down, and we'll talk a little bit about last week's game, and I'll let you know if Baker Mayfield's going to start tonight, and if the Stars are going to be playing tonight. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question, and it is a Browns one once again. What team did the Browns defeat for their final playoff victory of the 20th century? I will have the answer later in the broadcast. And as I mentioned, the Browns are getting ready to play preseason game 3 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. I was going to say don't expect to see the Stars, but the starters are going to play tonight, and but the big question is quarterback Baker Mayfield going to play in tonight's game against the Bucs? And the answer is yes. Cleveland will play Baker Mayfield and much of the first team in the third preseason game against the Bucs. Now, Browns head coach Freddie Kitchens confirmed this news to Cleveland.com, but didn't say how many possessions his star quarterback would see in Tampa. And Kitchens says, "We are going to play our guys some," Kitchens said, and he said, "I don't know how long yet." And Mayfield sat last Saturday against the Colts in a 21-18 victory. He was replaced by backup Garrett Gilbert, who completed 13 of 19 passes for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns and a half of action. This was continued growth for the 28-year-old journeyman, who connected on 14 of 22 throws for 135 yards and a 30-10 triumph over the Washington Redskins in the preseason opener. And I will say this, Mayfield looked crisp against the Redskins in his only appearance so far. He led a touchdown drive on 5 for 6, passing for 77 yards. The drive was culminated in a 24-yard strike to Rashard Higgins. Now, Mayfield has expressed a desire to play at least a half against Tampa Bay. Now, and Mayfield said, "I would like to say at least a half, but it's not my call," Mayfield told WKYC after Wednesday's practice. Now, we will see the Baker Mayfield and the starters tonight in tonight's game for some of the game, and this is probably the final dress rehearsal for the starters before the regular season starts, because as you know, in the fourth preseason game, which the Browns will play against the Lions next Thursday, we will not see any of the starters. They will be rested before the regular season starts, and Odell Beckham Jr. Still has that hip injury, and he will probably rest tonight's game. I mean, we may see him play, but we think he'll rest tonight's game. But he says he will be good to go for in Week 1 when the Browns take on the Tennessee Titans in the season opener, which will be on Sunday, September 8th. And hopefully he will be, because he really wants to be good to go for the season opener. And media sources say Baker Mayfield could be the next Patrick Mahomes III. And they feel that quarterback Baker Mayfield is really going to put up some big numbers this fall in the 2019 season, and I really believe that the Browns are going to win a lot of games this season. But what's a watch for in tonight's game? I really feel that the Browns are really going to put the pressure on Tampa Bay. And even though this is a preseason game, it's not going to mean anything. But I think we're going to see a lot of pass downs and a lot of passes on 5 for 6 yards. And I think we're going to see Baker Mayfield make a lot of good throws tonight. And I think Jarvis Landry, I think, will play a lot, and Myles Garrett, I think, will play some tonight. And I think we'll see Kareem Hunt as well, and Austin Corbett. And I think Austin Corbett is a good possible candidate for the right guard position. So we'll wait and see on that. And but do expect to see a lot of possessions on first down, and a lot of possessions that the offense and defense will make, and a lot of good plays tonight. And do expect to see Mayfield throw some outstanding passes tonight in tonight's game. But I expect to see the offense really keep the pressure on Tampa Bay and their quarterback tonight. So really, I think the first possession is going to set the tone for the game tonight, and we'll see if that's the case in tonight's game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now we'll get back to talking about the Browns and actually hold on a minute. We'll get to that in just a minute, in just a moment. But I want to also Freddie Kitchens liked what he saw in Wednesday's practice, and he really after the not so well the not so well went practices on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and with them doing push-ups, I think that helped. So he liked what he saw, and the Browns have really fixed their problems. So we'll see what they can do tonight against Tampa Bay. We'll get back and talking about the Browns and Bucks and tonight's preseason game in just a moment. But right now, it is time to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 Browns preseason pregame show trivia question. And here's the question one more time. What team did the Browns defeat for their final playoff victory of the 20th century? And if you said the New England Patriots, you are correct. The Browns won in Cleveland over the Patriots 20-13 in the 1994 AFC wild card game. And that was, of course, one of the last playoff victories, as because in the 94-95 season, in the middle of that season, former Browns owner and former Ravens owner was the late Art Modell, announced during the middle of that season in November that the Browns would be moving to Baltimore, and that shattered what was supposed to be a Browns Super Bowl team and them going to Super Bowl. That basically shattered it. And as you know, the original Cleveland Browns moved to Baltimore and are now known as the Baltimore Ravens. And I'll have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. Now, getting back to tonight's game against the Tampa Bay Bucks, I really think I think the Bucks are going to play some really good ball tonight, and they're going to be really aggressive. And excuse me for just a sec. In tonight's game against the Browns and Bucks, but I think Tampa Bay is really going to be aggressive against the Browns tonight. I can really assure you that. But I think the Browns are going to have the edge in this game, and we'll see if they do. But I think they're going to win. But hey, if they don't, it's only a preseason game, and it does not mean anything. But I really think Mayfield's really going to show his stuff tonight, and I think he's going to put up some really big numbers in tonight's game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which will kick off at 7:30 on WEWS Channel 5, and you can also see the game on NFL Network. So, and that is just 90 minutes away from right now at 7:30. And so I really think the Browns are going to win this game, but if not, hey, doesn't mean anything. It's only a preseason game. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101 Browns preseason pregame show. I will be back with a Browns preseason postgame show once the Browns and Bucks game has concluded. And that will be later on this evening. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. Enjoy tonight's game, everybody. And so long. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.